Hey, thanks for coming. Today I want to talk about dieting. Not so much to help you lose weight, although you're going to do that with this diet, but you're also going to get healthier. Why are you overweight? And why do all these diets that are out there fail to help you lose weight and feel and be better, healthier? In the last 3 months, I've lost 20 pounds. You can look at my face. I'm sorry, I've still got a belly and I'm still uh, losing weight. And I've had my ups and downs, as will you. But I understand exactly how I gained weight, and I didn't before. And what woke me up to search out the answer was that I had a diabetic wound in my foot. I'm better now because I understood what it took to knock down the diabetes. I had neuropathy. I understand what it took to knock that down. And so I wasn't really too concerned back in September about losing weight. What I was concerned about, finally, was getting my blood sugar under control. In the process of doing that, I lost weight. And there's a direct connection between those. The diet I'm going to talk to you about is called the T.I.M.E diet. And the T.I.M.E is an acronym. It means toxins identified, moved, and expelled. The reason why you're overweight and you can never lose weight successfully is because you have toxins in the body. Those toxins irritate the body. Okay, so your subconscious mind, in wanting to be as healthy as it can be, okay, I'm going to use a word called homeostasis. Homeostasis means the body takes a look at everything. It's much smarter than our mind, our conscious mind. In the Vedas, it says that our mind, subconscious mind, thinks 3,280,000 thoughts per second. Okay, our conscious mind thinks around 600 words per second. So it's a much diminished number of thoughts compared to your subconscious. So your subconscious is always working to make you as healthy as you can be given the conditions. So how does this have to do with losing weight? Well, nature is not benign. That means it's not good all the time. There are things from nature that can threaten you, and man-made things that can threaten you. When I was looking for stuff about neuropathy, I came across a story in a firefighter's magazine, online magazine. And there was a story about a guy who was in a chemical fire. He was a fireman with his buddy. His buddy went down, and he wasn't able to get out of there. He was incapacitated. He wasn't conscious. He wasn't able to walk. So this firefighter picked up his friend and dragged him out of the fire. So you can imagine how hard he was struggling. And his mask didn't work very completely because he was exposed in that fire to chemicals. He didn't say which ones he was exposed to. The next day, he had peripheral neuropathy that disabled him. He couldn't work. You have to imagine how distressing it was to him. He had to use a walker. Okay. So this is a guy that picked up some toxins so badly that his nerves couldn't take it. Okay, it's not usually that bad. When you have neuropathy, it comes on slowly and gets worse slowly. Okay. But it's due to toxins getting into the body faster than the body can get rid of them. So, what do you do about toxins, or what does the body do? Well, the body goes through a process of identifying everything. And it has defense mechanisms. For instance, if you breathe in some types of asbestos, the asbestos, because especially the chrysotile, is, when you look at the fibers under a microscope, they're like a corkscrew. And what they do is they embed themselves in the lungs. And because they're like a corkscrew, they don't come out. And they go across cell walls. They're big enough for that. Well, your immune system identifies those corkscrews as a foreign body, and they try and attack it. In the process of attacking it, they produce very virulent chemicals to what they think is an organic material. But because asbestos is not reactive to these things, the chemicals that the body secretes attacks the cells around it. So there's a cancer called mesothelioma that's caused by these toxins your immune system produces. Eventually, after about 30, 40 years usually, there's a mutation, and the cells around the chrysotile asbestos starts to grow. Okay, somehow the DNA gets damaged enough so that it doesn't stop growing. Whenever a cell doesn't stop growing, it's called a cancer. So this is a toxin. Okay, your body identifies toxins. Sometimes it identifies a toxin and it can't get rid of it fast enough. It's in the bloodstream. So the body in its wisdom says, okay, well, I don't like this toxin. It's not doing any good for me. So what it does is it can't get rid of it fast enough. You're eating something, or you're putting something in your mouth, or you're breathing it in the air. Okay. This toxin, or group of toxins, or many toxins, the body says, okay, I don't want it in my bloodstream. I can't get rid of it fast enough. The kidneys are working too hard. There isn't enough, it's not getting enough of it out. So it makes a fat cell. And it puts that toxin in the fat cell. Homeostasis. The body is always going to the level of the highest health that it can. If it makes a fat cell, you'll get rid of the toxins. Okay, well, we've got a fat cell now. Okay, so then there's more blood required. There's more stuff here. And in order to keep the fat cell alive, now you have to eat more food. Your body's going to adjust for that. So what happens when you try and get rid of that fat cell? You go on a diet. Maybe it's a good diet, maybe it's a bad diet, and you lose weight. What just happened? Okay. The fat cell gets destroyed. Okay, and there are several ways that the cell can do that. If you go out and exercise, you'll create more movement. You'll cause an increase in your metabolism, and you'll enter a state called autophagy. And because you enter into a state of autophagy, it's because your brain, which monitors the glucose level very, very carefully, says, I'm not getting enough glucose. I need to kill some cells to get that glucose. And you go into a state of autophagy, and in that process, rather than digesting carbohydrates, digests fat cells primarily and gets the toxins out. Okay? But once the toxins are out, what does the rest of the body say? Well, we don't really want it. So it says to the liver and kidneys, start processing faster. And they say, well, okay, I've got a little bit extra and I can do that, but I can't get rid of it all. So, well, the toxins have been released into your body. They're not doing very good, are they? When you diet, you get headaches. You get weakness. Okay, that's shifting in and out of autophagy at the very least. So maybe it looks for another way to deposit the toxins. And if it's of a certain type, it'll go into the joints. Geez. And the toxins in the joints, and that's too long to go into the story why that happens here, it causes an inflammation reaction. The cells identify the toxins, and they produce things to kill the cells near the joint, just like the chrysotile in the lungs. It causes an autoimmune reaction, inflammation. Inflammation is a killer because the cells are trying to kill something, but they still can't get rid of it. So, The identification of toxins doesn't happen by you. It happens by your body and your subconscious mind. It's monitoring this very, very closely. What can you do to help that? Well, let's think of ways you get rid of stuff. Okay, elimination. Okay, if you're in a house, if you have to go to the bathroom, you go to the bathroom. Okay, you turn on the water and you flush out the feces in the urine. Why? Because if you didn't, your TP is going to be full of shit. Okay. So when people talk about diet, they don't talk about elimination. Okay. You have to move the toxins out of the body. As soon as the toxins are out of the body, marvelous things happen. You don't feel hungry anymore. You don't have headaches. You have a sense of well-being. If you've tried diets, you know what I'm talking about. The urge to eat becomes overwhelming. Eventually you break down and you stuff yourself with the stuff that brings on the toxins. And sometimes after a diet, you end up gaining more weight than you had before. Okay. This is the secret, how to lose weight permanently, easily. Okay, so we talked about toxins, we talked about identification. Let's talk about moving the toxins. How do you move the toxins? Well, autophagy, which we talked about, comes from exercising. So you can exercise more. And so people that have diabetes, they're told, type 2, they're told to exercise more. Okay, and the other people come along and says, well, leafy green vegetables. Well, actually, they're partially right, just like they're partially right with the exercise. Exercise works a little bit, okay? You have to do an awful lot of it. But the fastest and quickest way to get rid of toxins is to stop putting them in your body. You do that by breathing, you do that by eating, you do that by drinking. Okay, the water is not perfect that you get from the municipal system. There's some indication that fluorides are an issue. Okay, there's other things too. There could be bacteria. So I happen to be a plumber, so I know that all the water systems in the United States are treated with chloramines. It's the last tap rule. Okay, so water is one thing. It turns out the absolute best water is the water we had 50,000 years ago. And it was slightly alkaline. That's what we adapted to. So the water to our system that is mandated by the federal authorities in order to the municipalities says it will be 7.0. And by God, that's what you get. 7.2 is what you need. And I won't go into that. There's lots of stuff on Kangen water and the other stuff. But changing your water will get rid of toxins. There's another more powerful way, is to restrict the calories. for the carbohydrates. There's some GMOs and all the other stuff. Won't go into that. Before there was GMOs, there was diabetes. So this is a problem of toxins that are already in our food environment. You have to lower your carbohydrates, you have to lower your calories. And at the same time, you want to get the system to kick out the toxins. You want to move them so they'll be excreted, eliminated. So what you do is you reduce the calories. And at the same time, you want to induce autophagy. Autophagy, I think I'll put the link for the Caveman MD about autophagy so you can read it. Can be induced by not eating for enough time. That's why this is called the T.I.M.E diet. What I do, okay, so I'm going to tell you what I do, okay, is what I do is I eat. So this morning, I started eating around 8 o'clock, 8:30, and I finished at 3:30. I haven't eaten since then, and I'm not going until tomorrow morning. I can drink water, and I'm actually going to have some alkaline water a little bit later on. But what that does, after about 14 to 18 hours, it's a type of fast. Your body switches over from digesting carbohydrates to autophagy. And so that's what I've been doing. I haven't really counted calories. I know this morning I probably had close to 1,000 calories. Maybe more, maybe 1,200. But I get the autophagy going, and the next morning I'll eat. And what that does, it makes while you're sleeping, your digestive system is able to eliminate toxins. So one of the things I do while I'm having my meals is I take not laxatives, but a pill. And I have a video that if you just take the fiber pills, you'll lose 10 pounds in a month. Okay. So that's the T.I.M.E diet. Toxins. They're the cause. Your body identifies them already. You need to do a number of things to move them out. Change the water you drink. Change the time when you eat. You notice I didn't say just eat leafy greens. No, I'm still losing weight. I'm eating pizzas. Not as fast as before when I didn't eat any carbohydrates at all, or very minimal. But I'm still losing. And I did that just so I could say that on this video. I'm happy. My belt, I bought some new belts, and one of them, I'm down to the last notch now. I'm going to have to buy another belt. I'm happy because I know it's going to continue. And I can see how easy it's going to be. Now, there are some adjustments you have to make. You know, what do you do about going to see your friends and family and going out to dinner. Hey, fine, go do it. This losing weight business, getting rid of the toxins, is a marathon, not a sprint. You just have to keep on coming back and doing what's needful, what you need to do to be happy, healthy, and wise. Thank you so much.